Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Chayam Modirayet Nastapreshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utama Shloker Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 3rd chapter, text 28. Tan anayadvam asato vimukan mukunda padaravinda makaranda rasat achashram niskinchanai paramahamsa Kulair, Asangair, Chustat, Krihe, Niraya, Vatmani, Patha, Trishnan, Tan Anayatvam Asato Vimukan Mukunda, Padaravinda Makaranda Rasat Achasram Niskinchanai Paramahamsa Kulai Rasangai Chushta Krihe Virachavatmani Pata Trishnan Sushta Krihe Niraya Vatmani Pata Trishnan Tanananatyam Asato Vimukan Mukunda Padaravinda Makaranda Rasat Achasram Niskinchanai Paramahamsa Kulai Rasangai Chushta Krihe Niraya Vatmani Pata Trishnan Tananayatvam Asato Vimukan Mukunda Padaravinda Makaranda Rasat Achasram Niskinchanai Paramahamsa Kulai Rasangai Jushta Krihe Niraya Vatmani Pata Trishnan Tananayatvam Asato Vimukan Mukunda Padaravinda Makaranda Rasat Achasram Niskinchanai Paramahamsa Kulai Rasangai Jushta Krihe Niraya Vatmani Pata Trishnam Ananatyam Asato Vimukan Mukunda Padaravinda Makaranda Rasat Varchashram Niskinchanai Paramahamsa Kulai Rasangai Jushta Krihe Niraya Vatmani Pata Trishnan. Tan them Anayadvam bring before me Asata, non-devotees, those who have not taken to Krishna consciousness. Vimukhan, who have turned against. Mukunda, of Mukunda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Padaravinda, of the lotus feet. Makaranda, of the honey. Rasat, the taste. Achasram, continuously. Niskinchanai, by persons completely freed from material attachment. Paramahamsa Kulai, by the Paramahamsas, the most exalted personalities. Asangai, who have no material attachments. Chushtat, which is enjoyed. Grihe, to household life. Niraya Vartmani, the path leading to hell. Bhatha Trishnan, whose desires are bound. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Paramahamsas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate with Paramahamsas, and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which form the path to hell. Purport. After warning the Yamadutas not to approach the devotees, Yamaraj now indicates who is to be brought before him. He specifically advises the Yamadutas to bring him the materialistic persons who are attached to household life merely for sex life or sex. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yan mai tunadi grihamedi sukham hitu cham, quoted from 7th Canto 9 chapter text 45. People are attached to household life for sex only. They are always harassed in many ways by their material engagements, and their only happiness is that after working very hard all day and night, they sleep and indulge in sex. Nidraya riyate nakam vyavayena java vayaha. Also in Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 3rd chapter, text 3, Shukadeva Goswami says, at night, materialistic householders sleep or indulge in sex life. Diva jatehaya rajan kudumba paramenava. It's further quoted from this verse by Shukadev. During the day, they are busy trying to find out where money is, and if they get money, they spend it to maintain their families. Yamaraj specifically advises his servants to bring these persons to him for punishment and not to bring the devotees who always lick the honey at the lotus feet of the Lord, who are equal to everyone and who try to preach Krishna consciousness because of sympathy for all living entities. Devotees are not liable to punishment by Yamaraj, but persons who have no information of Krishna consciousness cannot be protected by their material life of so-called family enjoyment. The Srimad Bhagavatam says, also from Shukadeva Goswami, 2nd Canto, 1st chapter, text 4, Teha patra kalatradishu atma sanishu asatsu api tesham pramato nidanam pashyanapi na pashyati. Such persons complacently believe that their nations, communities, or families can protect them, unaware that all such fallible soldiers will be destroyed in due course of time. In conclusion, One should try to associate with persons who engage in devotional service 24 hours a day. Tan anayadvam asato vimukan mukunda padara vinda makaranda rasat achashram niskinchanai paramahamsa kulair asangair chustakrihe nirayavatmani padha trishnan. Paramahamsas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate with Paramahamsas, and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which form the path to hell. Om Agyat Timranya Sya Gananchana Salakayam Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this story, very ancient story, Puranic story, is narrated in Bhagavatam in the 6th canto, how Ajamil was saved from going to hell by the Vishnu Dutas, by the servants or messengers of Lord Vishnu. This story is very important, and it is narrated by Shukadev Goswami for Maharaj Parikshit's inspiration. After the 5th canto was in the last chapter of the 5th canto, Shukadev Goswami described the different hells where the conditioned souls, the materialistic personalities had to go and become punished. So after hearing these descriptions of these hellish sufferings that the conditioned soul has to go through it, go on, or the sinners had to go on or through, Maharaj Parikshit, Shukadev Goswami, because Shukadev Goswami Guru-Shishya relationship, he understood the mind of Maharaj Parikshit. And he understood Maharaj Parikshit was very anxious. He became very sad. Not sad for himself, because he was properly situated in proper association of Shukadev Goswami and all the saintly persons who were present in the last days of his life. So he had no anxiety, not a fear for himself. In the beginning he had some fear because he heard the curse. 7 days I have to live and then I will be finished. What I should do now? What should I hear? How should I act? How should I speak? Where should I go? Where should I put my mind, my attention in these last 7 days? How should I spend my last 7 days in life? So there he had some fear. And that fear, but he was intelligent enough, that fear brought him to the bank of the Yamuna, where he sat down. And there he got the proper association, saintly association of Paramahamsa, of Shukadev Goswami, son of Yasadev, Vayasaki. So Shukadev Goswami was on the Paramahamsa level, and there were many saintly persons also present, and there was a holy place. So Maharaj Parikshit was properly situated, and especially heard from Shukadev Goswami, the Srimad Bhagavatam, what frees one from all anxiety. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishrayasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Svastanayam Mahat. So the Bhagavatam, what was narrated or composed by the great sage Vyasadeva, who was an incarnation of the Lord. Bhagavan Rishi. So he gave this narration of Bhagavatam to give relief to the anxieties of the conditioned soul. Therefore, the Bhagavatam is all glorious, all victorious. And by hearing regularly the Srimad Bhagavatam, all inauspiciousness, everything what is apadra, inauspicious, will become removed by regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of Bhagavata devotee. It's very important to hear Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. Bhagavata Paradiya, Bhagavata Sthane. That is recommended to hear Bhagavatam in association of devotees who have no material motivation for karma, jnana, or any attempt for material happiness in gross or in subtle way in this material world, who don't even have interest for mukti or liberation. That is wanted, that is needed, this kind of association. And in this kind of association, one should hear about Krishna, one should hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore Maharaj Parikshit was very happy. He had no problem for himself because he had the best association. He could hear about the best, the supreme and most auspicious subject matter, to hear about Krishna. Because Shrinvatam Svakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Ridyantak Subhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam. Krishna Katha will remove all problems in life. It will purify the heart from the four kinds of ignorance. Out of ignorance, we have four kinds of habits, bad habits. One is asat trishna. Here is also the word bada trishna, whose desires are bound. So if one is bound up with asat, the word also is used here, asat, asato, vimukhan. If one is engaged or attached to bad association or bad habits, it's called asat trishna. One is bound up with asat. And if one is bound up with asat, with that what is not wanted, or that what is materialistic, what has no relation with Krishna, whose back or interest is turned against Krishna, against the sun, if one is bound up like that, then one actually lives in hell. According to Kapila Dev, one lives already hell now in the world. Don't even have to go to the next hell. It's already hellish here. And that we can see how the world becomes more and more hellish because of asat trishna, because of bondage to materialistic life. And the living entity, it's described because it turns its back against Krishna. It is called viparya smriti. If one is turned against Krishna, then automatically one is in darkness, one is in ignorance. And then one becomes ignorance, because living entity has a taste, always. It has to be attached to something, so it becomes attached to the asat. So that's the first symptom of ignorance, Asat Trishna. Second is Hridaya Daurbalyam, weakness of the heart, due to miserliness, due to Kripana mentality, who is opposite of Brahmana, opposite of spiritualistic activities, related to Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. So the personality who is conditioned by the weakness of the heart, he becomes a Kripana, he becomes miser. He's not charitable, he's not engaged in welfare activities. He's only thinking about himself, his family members, his own happiness. And for that he's ready to spend many thousands of dollars or whatever, spending just to maintain family members. Day and night he has to work very hard in one way or another to get the money together. But he has not the courage, due to weakness of the heart, to turn his determination, his intelligence, his mind towards Krishna. So that's out of miserliness. We hear this from Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was in Krishna chastised him that you are overcome by miserliness. You are a kshatriya. You're a warrior. You're a son of Pandu and Kunti. You're from the famous Kuru dynasty. How this miserliness, who is not Aryan-like, who is not cultured, somebody who knows the truth, how can this miserliness overcome you? How you can lament in such a way? So for a devotee, there's no need of lamentation. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit had no need for lamentation. So he overcome this miserliness, this weakness of the heart, this asatrishna, the association to the worldliness. He gave it all up. Everything what anchors you or bounds you in this material world, ultimately we have to give up. And the best is to give it up early enough, before it is too late. The devotee is asatrishna, and he's not attached to the asat, because he is attached to the association of devotee. He's not miserly, he's charitable, because he engages in the highest charitable activities, serving the Supreme Lord, and to reconnect the living entities in relation to the Lord as servants to Krishna. And the third ignorance is, cause of ignorance is aparada. Aparada means offenses to the holy name, aparada in devotional service. So offenses therefore have to be given up, because even if we engage in devotional service but we behave offensive towards the Vaishnavas or to the Supreme Lord, then one may become punished for that. So aparadi, it's a very difficult offense. It's like a maddened elephant offense, who destroys everything. The beautiful lotus, the beautiful creeper of devotion becomes destroyed by aparada. Therefore, aparada has to be avoided. Aparada means deviation. Deviation from Radha, from devotional service. Apa, not behaving properly. And the fourth ignorance or symptom of ignorance is called Brahma Tattva. Tattva Brahma. One is confused about Tattva. One is confused about what is right and what is wrong. What is God? who I am, what are others, what is my relationship, what is Vishnu Tattva, what is Shakti Tattva, what is Jiva Tattva, what is material Maya Tattva, what is Asat, what is Sat. This is the living entity who is in ignorance, is confused about this Tattva of the different energies of the Lord and our eternal relationship with Him. So this kind of ignorance has to become overcome by vidya, by knowledge, and by especially knowledge given by the self-realized person who is akinchana. Akinchana means he has no attachment to worldly affairs or positions or achievements. He has no interest in all these things. So the devotee who is akinchana, those devotees we should also see it and hear. So Bhagavatam is Paramahamsa literature, and it is spoken for detach the living entities in a natural way to reconnect it with Krishna, to make us attached to Krishna. So devotee should not be afraid, and Bhagavatam is not meant to create some fear in other living entities by giving descriptions of hellish life. It is only information. And this is very valuable, because in the world of ignorance we have no information about life after death, about lower or higher life, or life even also in this world, and in how we can achieve different kinds of forms and conditions due to our present activities. So the present activities form our future activities. And those who are devotees and who are engaging in devotional service all the time in the association with other devotees, and constantly hear, chant and remember Krishna, engaging in devotional service, they are like swans, ducks, and different nice water animals who are swimming or floating around Lord Chaitanya's or Lord Krishna's lotus feet in the beautiful lake of devotional service. It's a very nice verse describing this from Chaitanya Charitamrita, second Adi Lila 2nd 2, verse 2. Krishna kirtana kananatana kala padochani prachita satpaktavali hamsa chakramatupa shreni viharaspadam kananandi kalatvanir vahatu me jiva maru prangane Si Chaitanya Dayani Teta Balasa Lila Sudha Svaratuni. O my merciful Lord Chaitanya, may the nectarian Ganga water of your transcendental activities flow on the surface of my desert-like tongue. Beautifying these waters are the lotus flowers of singing, dancing, and loud chanting of Krishna's holy name, which are the pleasure abodes of unalloyed devotees. These devotees are compared to swans, ducks, and bees. The rivers flowing produces a melodious sound that gladdens their ears. There's a nice purport by Prabhupada. I would like to read some part. He's, in the purport, he says, our tongues always engage in vibrating useless sounds that do not help us realize transcendental peace. The tongue is compared to a desert because a desert needs a constant supply of refreshing water to make it fertile and fruitful. Water is a substance must needed in the desert. The transient pleasure derived from mundane topics of art, culture, politics, sociology, dry philosophy, poetry, and so on is compared to a mere drop of water, because although such topics have a qualitative feature of transcendental pleasure, they are saturated with a mode of material nature. Therefore, neither collectively nor individually can they satisfy the vast requirements of the desert-like tongue. Despite crying in various conferences, therefore, the desert-like tongue continues to be parched or dry. For this reason, people from all parts of the world must call for the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to swans swimming around the beautiful lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or bees humming around his lotus feet in transcendental pleasure, searching for honey. The dryness of material happiness cannot be moistened by so-called philosophers who cry for Brahman, liberation, and similar dry speculative objects. The urge of the soul proper is different. The soul can be solaced only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his many bona fide devotees who never leave the lotus feet of the Lord to become imitation Mahaprabhus, but all cling to his lotus feet like bees that never leave a honey-soaked lotus flower. Lord Chaitanya's movement of Krishna consciousness is full of dancing and singing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. It is compared herein to the pure waters of the Ganga, which are full of lotus flowers. The enjoyers of these lotus flowers are the pure devotees who are like bees and swans. They chant like the flowing of the Ganga, the river of the celestial kingdom. The author desires such sweetly flowing waves to cover his tongue. He humbly compares himself to materialistic persons who always engage in dry talk from which they derive no satisfaction. If they were to use their dry tongues to chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as exemplified by Lord Chaitanya, they would taste sweet nectar and enjoy life. So the devotees have an opportunity to absorb, like the swans and bees, around the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna. And these feet are very easily approachable by chanting and hearing about their glorious activities, name and form and pastimes. And therefore the devotees are convinced. And devotee means convinced. He's fixed. He knows the truth. And therefore he knows how to behave properly and engage in such a way to benefit not only himself but others. That is the mood of the great devotees, like Shukadev Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit, and also the devotees who are mentioned here in the Bhagavatam, the Mahachanas, like Parikshit, like Prahlad Maharaj. Naivod viche para turatya vaitaranyas tvadvira gayana mahamrita magnachita so chevi mukha chetasa indriyarta maya sukhaya param udvahato vimudhan. So he prayed. He was properly situated at the lotus feet or even on the lap of Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev was ready to give him a blessing. So what kind of blessing he desired? He requested the blessing. Please, my dear Lord, deliver all the fools and rascals, the mudhas, because they are engaging in, they're making so many elaborate plans. Maya Sukhaya, Param Udvahato Vimudhan. They're making elaborate plans how to become happy in the world of unhappiness. The material world is a world of unhappiness. It is hellish. And the relief of hellish condition or suffering is actually considered happiness. But the real happiness is not there in the desert. It's there where Krishna's lotus feet are, where devotional service is. And therefore the devotees like Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj, they pray, please engage me in such a way that I can deliver them, that I can help them. This is my anxiety. This is the devotee's anxiety. He has no anxiety for himself, but he has the anxiety how to deliver the fallen souls, that they will not continue to suffer again and again. Because they don't learn. Conditioned soul cannot learn and deliver himself by his own desire or own endeavor. It's not possible. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva and the Supreme Lord, he gave this transcendental literature. He gave us the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. They gave us the process, nectarian process, by whose mercy everyone will become delivered from falling down to material existence and going back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
You were mentioning about removing the different kinds of ignorance and the fact that the Bhagavatam or Bhagavat process is not meant to make us fearful, but to attract us to Krishna. So when we're performing Vaidhi Bhakti, there is an element there of reverence and following the rules and regulations. And sometimes we may feel a little apprehensive that at the regulation and the obligation. So, there's a kind of element of fear that's naturally in a regulated institution. So I'm just asking about this, this other aspect you mentioned of attraction for hearing about Krishna.
Yeah.
Going between the two sides.
Yeah, Vaidhi mark means you mean this awe and reverence, that one has a kind of a fear of punishment, and therefore we are engaging in Vaidhi Bhakti, that we are out of fear that we will not be punished because that we will not become further entangled. Yeah, but this kind of fear, it's different. It's not the fear of the materialist. The devotee's fear he realizes by his own experience or by hearing from others. What the materialist cannot do. The materialist is described by Prahlad Maharaj also in his teachings to his own father. Matirna Krishna parataksvato va vrito pipadyeta kriha vratanam. What? That's third line? Huh? Adat go beer vishatam tamishram punak punas charvita charvananam. So they are always chewing the truth. They cannot learn by their own experience. They don't take lesson. not teachings from others, or a mixture of both. So they don't learn, because the living entity always have tendency to forget. Even if he gets lessons, personal lessons or lessons from other or mixtures of both, material life he forgets. Like an animal, a monkey here, or a dog, forgets the misery, and again goes through the enjoyment that causes further misery. They cannot learn. So therefore, as long we are on the animalistic platform of ignorance, we cannot learn the lessons. Therefore, the lesson is only this going through the repetition of cycle of birth and death. It's a heavy course, heavy lessons. The school of hard knocks. But the devotees, devotee, only somebody becomes a devotee who is buddhi or sumedasa, especially in the age of Kali Yuga. Only those who are sumedasa, they join the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. That's described. You know this. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam, Sanko Pankas Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtan Prayar, Yachanti Hi Sumedasa. Only those who are intelligent, they chant the holy name of Krishna and worship Lord Chaitanya according to his way. So that's a great mercy what is given. So therefore, only a devotee who is sumedasa, who has sufficient intelligence, as Prabhupada used to say, sufficient intelligent, not less intelligent. Alpa Medasa. The Alpa Medasa, they worship demigods or the great materialists who give them money and name and fame and glory. But they don't worship the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. That only a fortunate person, Bhagyavan, achieve. After many, many lifetimes of traveling from different bodies, comes in contact with Guru and Krishna's mercy, and in this way can take up the process of sadhana bhakti. And because we are habited to materialistic life, therefore sadhana bhakti is a great mercy. Although in the beginning maybe there's some fear, there's some anxiety, I don't want to suffer anymore, but this fear, this anxiety is healthy, Prabhupada says. This kind of fear, what brings you to Krishna, this is a healthy fear. Of course, ultimately this fear has to be overcome by making friendship with Krishna. By Sharanagati, we can make friendship with Krishna ultimately. To come to a platform of Sakya and Atma Nivedanam. That's the goal of sadhana bhakti. As long as we hang up or hang on the sadhana bhakti platform and we don't go further, then it's like we go in school of ABC, learning primary school, and you don't go to secondary and to higher school. Who is satisfied to only stay in the first 5 grades in the school and then finish? So I have to go further. So this is, of course, we cannot make the steps in this direction, but we can have a desire in this direction, or open ourselves for it. Don't close yourself from a relationship, pure relationship with Krishna, without fear to have a rasa relationship with him. And this naturally will come if we follow the path of sadhana bhakti under the rules and regulations of Vaidhi. Because Rupa Goswami describes nectar of devotion that sadhana bhakti means 2 levels. So we cannot only practice one and think that's all in all, and the rest is nothing. Or not for me now, maybe later, in future lives. So it's the path, the process is given, and it is meant that ultimately we progress by this surrendering process, and that we learn how to rule and regulate our senses and the mind, so that they become purified and steady, fixed in Krishna. And if the devotee becomes fixed and steady in Krishna consciousness, then naturally he becomes happy and joyful, enthusiastic, and in a natural way he will develop a natural affection to a particular form, name, and pastimes of the Lord. Answers this your question? I don't know. Huh?
Very nice, thank you.
There's also one verse I wanted to quote it out, but went under. From 11th canto. It's a nice verse. 11:5:42. Svapada mulam pachata priyasya Tyaktanya bhavasya hari pareshaha vikarma yach chopatitam katanchit dunoti sarvam riti sanivishta. One who has thus given up all other engagements and has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Supreme Lord, who is seated within everyone's heart, immediately takes away the reaction of such a sin. Maybe some other question?
Is there also for each individual same process? The question is connected with the term kripa. It's also possible that not every individual has to go through the sadhana process, who is successively elevating.
Yes, you don't have to speculate about the process, because the process is already given by Lord Chaitanya. He is the Yuga avatar for the Kali Yuga. And what he emphasized, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, Kala nastyeva, 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 Gatir anyataha. He repeats from Upanishad even, sloka, describing or emphasizing that in Kali Yuga there is no other way. Nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva. Means there is no other way than chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hari. There's no other way. If you want to become delivered, for deliverance. If you want to stay in the material world, there are so many processes to go up and down. So it is, but for going back to Godhead, there's only one process. Nastyeva, 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 Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. There's no other way. Sorry for the good information. So I should take shelter in this holy name. And not speculate, because speculate, we can never trust the mind. Mind we can never trust. It's like a dog. As long as it's not under control and fixed, focused on Krishna's lotus feet, we cannot trust him. Therefore, we have to take the lessons from the Shastra and from the great authorities, Acharyas, and the Supreme Lord himself. They know. We don't know. We're foolish. We're ignorant. And we should not put ourselves over the authority of Shastra and Sadhu and Acharya or Guru. They're our authority. But if you want to make mind your authority, then sorry for you. Then you have to go your way. There are so many ways then you can go. Go up and down like a merry-go-round. And it's samsara chakra. But then I wonder why we became devotee, why I'm 20 years and 30 years or more or less I'm practicing, and I'm still thinking there's another process, or teach another process to somebody. No, it's cheating. As a representative of our parampara and Srila Prabhupada, we should not cheat. We should represent our Acharya Sampradaya, the words what they give, not what our mind tells us or what is your opinion. Because then we go to hell. Then you're already in hell because your intelligence is there. And the verse is, you teach even so-called knowledge, to others, and bring them also to this hellish life of materialistic existence, to go up and down. That's even worse, to misguide them, misguide the people. So therefore the devotee should not misguide people. You have the knowledge, you should give it. We should distribute these books, we should speak about these books, what Prabhupada has given us, and then everything will be nice, then we have blessings. This vimukta manina, this speculation of liberation or happiness besides Krishna consciousness, that will bring us to fall. Even you're so-called liberated, it brings you to fall. That's Brahma saying. Stop here, thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.